Welcome to English Reading Academy. Today's topic is Why Smart People Do Stupid Things. Have you ever looked at a genius and thought, what on earth were they thinking? We see brilliant minds mess up big time all the time. It turns out that a high IQ doesn't mean you are immune to making terrible choices. In fact, smarts can sometimes completely blindside your judgment. Psychologists point out that intelligence and wisdom are two totally different things. You can ace every exam while still lacking basic, everyday common sense. One major culprit is cognitive reflection, or rather, the lack of it. Brilliant individuals often coast on autopilot because they are used to being right. They rely heavily on mental shortcuts, which helps them process things quickly. However, this fast track thinking often causes them to jump to wrong conclusions. Furthermore, intelligent people are prone to the dreaded my side bias. They use their brain power to defend their own beliefs instead of seeking the actual truth. They can out argue anyone in the room, outsmarting themselves in the process. They spin incredibly elaborate webs of logic to justify absolutely terrible, reckless behavior. Another huge factor is the overconfidence effect, which traps many high achievers. When you're constantly told you are special, you start believing your own hype. You assume you can outsmart the system and get away with risky moves. This dangerous mindset makes you double down on errors instead of backing away. Let's look at the financial world, where math wizards regularly crash and burn. They build flawless economic models but completely ignore unpredictable, messy human behavior. They get caught up in their own hype, ignoring flashing red flags. By the time reality bites, they have already lost everything in a heartbeat. Then we have emotional intelligence, which often gets left behind. A person might solve quantum physics problems but fail at reading a room. They struggle to manage their impulses, letting their raw emotions call the shots. When pressure builds up, they completely fall apart and make awful choices. Moreover, smart people often suffer from a severe case of blind spot bias. They easily spot flaws in others but are blind to their own. They think their superior intellect shields them from making basic, silly errors. This arrogance makes them skip crucial fact checking, leading straight to a total disaster. We also can't overlook the immense pressure that comes with being the smartest person. The fear of looking foolish forces them to hide their minor mistakes. Instead of coming clean, they cover up, making matters much worse. They dig a hole just to save face publicly. This fast paced environment forces brilliant minds to shoot from the hip constantly. They weigh in prematurely, falling flat before a massive audience. So, how do we stop ourselves from falling into these intellectual traps? The secret weapon isn't a higher test score, it is practicing radical humility. We must learn to question our assumptions and welcome constructive feedback open mindedly. It pays it to slow down and check your ego at the door. Surround yourself with people who aren't afraid to call out mistakes daily. You need friends who will tell you when a brilliant idea is actually stupid. Listen to gut feelings when things seem too good to be true. Striking a balance between smarts and self awareness keeps feet on the ground. At the end of the day, brain power is just a tool, nothing more. It can build magnificent bridges or blow up if left completely unchecked. Stay curious, stay humble, and never assume you have it all figured out. After all, the smartest move you can make is admitting your limitations.